The archaeological dig on Kepler 442b had been William's dream assignment. 3 years of paperwork, countless grant applications, and one very awkward interview with the Colonial Science Board had finally paid off. Now, he stood in the ruins of what humanity's xenoarchaeologists called the Silent Empire, a civilization that had vanished 10,000 years ago, leaving behind only whispers in stone and metal. William brushed red dust from his knees as he knelt beside the armored figure. She, and it was definitely a she, despite the alien features, had been sealed in this chamber for millennia. The preservation was miraculous. Every scale on her azure skin seemed ready to shimmer with life. Her armor, ornate and fitted with precision that spoke of royalty or high military rank, bore symbols that made William's translator implant spark with frustrated static. Unknown language pattern, it buzzed in his ear. Insufficient data for translation. He'd been working alone in this sector for 2 weeks, much to his supervisor's irritation. Dr. Chen thought he was wasting time on statuary when there were real artifacts to catalog in the main temple complex. But William had always trusted his instincts, and something about this chamber felt different, important. The armored figure sat on a throne that grew from the floor like crystallized bone. Her helmet was a masterwork, curved horns swept back from the crown, and a faceplate of translucent material revealed delicate features frozen in what might have been sleep or death. Her forearms were positioned deliberately, 2 folded across her chest, 2 resting on the throne's arms. In one hand she held what looked like a scepter. In another, a blade that still gleamed despite the ages. William had seen enough archaeological hollows to recognize a ruler when he saw one. This was someone important, maybe the key to understanding why the Silent Empire had fallen. He pulled out his cleaning kit, soft brushes, microfiber cloths, and a gentle air blower. The university had drilled proper artifact care into him until he could do it in his sleep. Start with the air blower to remove loose particles. Never use liquid cleaners without analysis first. Work slowly, methodically, respectfully. The dust came away in clouds of rust-red, revealing armor that shimmered with an inner light. It wasn't just metal. There were circuits embedded in it, organic-looking patterns that flowed like frozen rivers across her chest plate, her pauldrons, her gauntlets. As William worked, his wonder grew. This wasn't just ceremonial armor. This was technology, integrated so seamlessly with art that the two were indistinguishable. He moved to her helmet, his hand steady despite his excitement. The faceplate was covered in a film of oxidized residue that obscured her features. He switched to a softer brush, working with infinite patience around the curves and edges. The material was warm under his touch, which was strange. Everything else in the chamber was cold. Probably heat retention in the molecular structure, he muttered to himself, a habit from too many solo digs. Some kind of ceramic metallic composite that. The eyes behind the faceplate opened. William's heart stopped, then started again at triple speed. He stumbled backward, his cleaning kit scattering across the ancient floor, brushes and cloths rolling into the darkness. The figure moved, slowly at first, like someone waking from a very long sleep. Her head turned, surveying the chamber with eyes that glowed like molten amber. Then those eyes fixed on William, and he felt the weight of an intelligence vast and ancient looking directly into his soul. She stood. The movement was fluid despite the armor, despite the millennia of stillness. She was tall, easily 7 feet, and as she rose, the chamber came alive. Lights flickered along the walls, following the pattern of circuits in her armor. The crystalline throne pulsed with bioluminescence. The very air began to hum with power. William wanted to run. Every instinct screamed at him to flee, to call for help, to do anything except stand there frozen like a terrified rabbit. But his legs wouldn't obey. He could only watch as she descended from the dais, each step measured and deliberate. She stopped before him, towering over his 6-foot frame. One hand, the upper right, reached toward him and William flinched. But she didn't strike. Instead, her fingers touched his face with surprising gentleness, tracing the line of his jaw, his cheekbone. Her skin was warm and smooth, scaled in patterns that caught the newly awakened light. "You clean the dust from my armor," she said. The words bypassed his translator entirely, arriving in his mind fully formed and tinged with wonder. Her voice was like music played on instruments humanity had never conceived, harmonious and strange and beautiful. William's mouth opened, but no sound came out. He tried again. Yes, I'm an archaeologist. I was studying." "You woke me with respect," she continued, and now her lower hands were moving, tracing patterns in the air. Symbols appeared where her fingers passed, glowing softly. William's translator caught fragments: honor, ritual, the old ways. Not with weapons or demands for power, not with greed. With soft brushes and gentle hands, you removed the shroud of ages. "I didn't know you were alive," William managed. "I thought we all thought that we were extinct." A sound that might have been laughter echoed in his mind. "Perhaps we are. I am Maya, last queen of the Etherian ascendancy. I slept because my people were dying, poisoned by our own success. We who mastered stars, who bent gravity and tamed dark matter, we fell to a plague of consciousness itself. Our minds, expanded beyond flesh, began to dissolve into the universe. I sealed myself here with the hope that time would heal what we had broken. Tell me, young archaeologist, what has become of my empire?" William swallowed hard. "How did you tell a queen that her entire civilization was dust and mystery?" "Gone," he said quietly. 10,000 years gone. We've found ruins on 12 worlds, but no survivors. No records we can read, just silence." Maya's eyes dimmed, and for a moment the ancient weight of loss was visible on her alien features. "Then I am truly the last," she whispered. "The libraries, the songs, the accumulated wisdom of 100,000 years, lost." "Not entirely," William said, surprised by his own boldness. "We've preserved everything we've found. We study your architecture, your art. We're trying to understand your language, your culture. You're not forgotten, your majesty, just waiting to be remembered correctly." She looked at him with those amber eyes, and William saw something shift in their depths. "You speak with passion. You care about my people, though you never knew them. You cleansed my armor not to claim glory, but out of reverence for the past." Her upper hands moved to her helmet, and with a soft hiss of ancient seals breaking, she removed it. William's breath caught. Maya's face was extraordinary: high cheekbones, a fine-featured nose, lips that curved in a melancholy smile. Her hair, if it could be called that, was a cascade of fine crystalline filaments that chimed softly as they moved, refracting the chamber's light into rainbows. She was beautiful in a way that transcended species, that spoke to something universal about grace and nobility. "In my time," Maya said, stepping closer, "there was a custom. When one honored the dead with proper funeral rites, when they showed respect to royalty even in decline, they were blessed. It is a small thing, perhaps meaningless now, but it is all I can offer." She leaned down, her face approaching his, and William's heart hammered so hard he thought she must hear it. "You have awakened a queen with gentle hands and reverent heart. That deserves recognition." Her lips pressed against his forehead. It was chaste, formal, but the touch sent electricity through William's entire body. For a moment, he felt, remembered fragments of vast cities floating between stars, gardens that grew in quantum foam, music that shaped reality itself, the glory and tragedy of the Etherian ascendancy burning through his consciousness like a comet. Then she pulled back, and William collapsed to his knees, gasping. "I have given you the blessing of memory," Maya said softly. "What I could not save in crystal or code, I have placed in your mind. You wish to remember my people correctly. Now you shall be the vessel of that memory. Treat it well, William the archaeologist." How did you know my name?" he wheezed. "The blessing flows both ways. I know you now. Your hopes, your dreams, your lonely dedication to understanding those who came before. You are a guardian of history, and that is a sacred calling." She turned, surveying the awakening chamber. "I cannot stay in this time. My biology is degrading already, I feel it. The sleep was meant to last until my people found a cure, not for 10,000 years, but I can ensure that our legacy survives." "Wait," William said, struggling to his feet. His mind was reeling with the information flooding through it: Etherian grammar structures, historical records, scientific principles that would revolutionize human technology. "Don't go. We can help you. We have medical technology, stasis fields." "Your kindness honors you," Maya interrupted gently. "But I am already dying, have been since you woke me. I have perhaps an hour before my consciousness dissipates entirely. The plague that took my people, it merely sleeps in me. But in that hour I can do what I should have done before we fell." She raised all four arms and the chamber responded. The walls began to shift, revealing hidden alcoves filled with crystalline data cores. "I will open the libraries. The true archives, sealed against those who would plunder without understanding. But you, William, you have proven yourself worthy." "I don't understand," William said, though part of him, the part now carrying Etherian memories, understood perfectly. "You will," Maya said, and there was warmth in her voice. "You honored a dead queen without knowing she could reward you. That is true character. My people chose to sleep rather than pass on our knowledge, fearing it would be misused. Perhaps we were wrong. Perhaps the universe needs young, passionate minds who clean dust with gentle hands and see beauty in ruins." She turned back to him one last time, and impulsively William stepped forward. "I'm sorry," he said. "Sorry that you woke alone. Sorry that everyone you knew is gone. Sorry that I can't save you." Maya's expression softened into something that might have been affection. "Sweet human, you already saved me. You gave me a final purpose. You showed me that caring and reverence survive across the ages. That is enough." She cupped his face with her upper hands, lower hands over his heart. "Besides, I am not entirely leaving. I will live in your memories, in the knowledge I have gifted you. Part of me will walk among the stars again through you." Then, surprising them both, she leaned down and kissed him again. Not on the forehead this time, but on the lips. It was brief, gentle, and tinged with starlight and sadness, and something that felt like hope. When she pulled back, she was smiling. "Go now. Tell your people what you have found. Teach them about the Etherian ascendancy, not with cold academic distance, but with the love and respect you have shown me. That is all a dying queen could ask." William stumbled out of the chamber as the walls began to glow with the light of 1,000 awakening data cores. Behind him, he heard Maya's voice one last time, singing in a language he now understood, a song of endings and beginnings and the long sleep of empires. When Dr. Chen and the excavation team reached the chamber 3 hours later, alerted by William's frantic calls, they found him sitting outside the entrance, tears streaming down his face, speaking fluently in a dead language and sketching designs for technologies that wouldn't be possible for another century. They found the chamber transformed, filled with accessible archives that would keep xenoarchaeologists and linguists busy for generations. They found armor standing empty on a throne, beautiful and eternal. They found no body, just a scatter of crystalline filaments that sang softly in the recycled air. But William found more. In his memories, precise and clear, he carried the legacy of the Etherian ascendancy. He carried the warmth of a queen's gratitude, and sometimes, in quiet moments late at night, he swore he could still feel the ghost of that kiss, a blessing from a dying civilization, passed to humanity through gentle hands and a reverent heart. The archaeologist who cleaned dust with soft brushes had awakened more than a queen. He had awakened a bridge between species, between eras, between the arrogant heights of a fallen empire and the hopeful reaches of a young civilization reaching for the stars. And it all began because William had treated a figure of metal and dust with the dignity she deserved, never expecting anything in return. That, perhaps, was the most human thing of all. End.